Thank you, Gabby. It's really a pleasure talking with all of y'all and showing you a little bit about Buffalo Bayou, our projects past, present, and future, and really letting you know kind of the benefits. During COVID, the park was overwhelmed with people because so many people realized how important the parks are benefiting you physically, mentally. And so, we're really trying to make Houston this iconic city and really help with the quality of life. So let me get going with showing you some photos and projects. Okay, so share screen. Okay, there we go. And you know what? Let me just start from the beginning, just a moment. Okay. Can you all hear me?
Gabby, yes, we can hear you and we can see the presentation.
Okay, perfect. So this is Buffalo Bayou Partnership. To give you a little bit of an idea of who we are, we're a nonprofit. We were established in 1986, and our mission is really simple. It's to transform and revitalize Buffalo Bayou, this historic waterway. And our jurisdiction is not the entire stretch of Buffalo Bayou, which is 52 miles long. It's hard to believe it's that long. That starts in Katy and goes all the way to the Ship Channel. Our jurisdiction is a 10-mile stretch that starts at Shepherd Drive on the west sector and goes all the way to the Turning Basin. When you go west of Shepherd, that's River Oaks, that's private property. And most of it is private property as you continue west. What's interesting for a lot of the homes in River Oaks that are along Buffalo Bayou, their property goes all the way to the middle of the waterway. So part of that bayou is their property. Quite interesting. And so let's start with some of the projects that Buffalo Bayou Partnership has created and completed. This was our first one. There were two different phases. The first one was completed in 1986, and it was a lot more of infrastructure that was completed with trails and landing areas for boats. In 1998, we had the second phase of a lot of art pieces that were completed. So in 1986, that was Houston's 150th anniversary, known as Sesquicentennial. So this park was named Sesquicentennial Park, a mouthful. And you may recognize this area. This building on the left is the Wortham Theater, and it's across the bayou from the downtown aquarium. Some of the art pieces that are really my favorites, you see those pillars on the left-hand side. There are 7 of them. This is called the 7 Wonders by Mel Chen, and each pillar represents a part of Houston. So there is philanthropy, there is oil and gas, there's NASA, and each pillar has 150 panels symbolizing sesquicentennial, and each panel is a drawing by a student who was born in 1986. So this was completed in 1998. So it's really beautiful and worth going up there and seeing. And it's lit up at night, and sometimes it's lit up with different colors depending on a season, a festival, a holiday. And this, you see the fire, this was during the celebration in 1998, celebrating the grand opening of this park. Another fun piece that some of you may know is the Big Bubble that was created by Dean Ruck, a local artist, and a great scavenger hunt for those who don't know about this. It's a red button that is on the on Preston Street Bridge, and there is a niche where one of the towers is, and what you do is you press this button, red button, it's waist level, it's not identified. When you press it, this big bubble comes up from the water. And Dean Ruck, the artist, loved people interacting with this, and so what he did is he saw a fisherman fishing, and when this bubble came up, the fisherman ran over to the bubble and put his fishing pole in there, and knowing and thinking there was just some grand big fish in there. So very cute story about that. So hope you can pass this by the next time you're in the downtown area. This was our next project, completed in 2006. This is Sabine Promenade from Sabine to Bagby. And we added a lot of access to Buffalo Bayou because a lot of times when the bayou, Buffalo Bayou, is below street level, there was really not a way to get ground level. So we added 13 new access points to this stretch of trails. This was our grand opening. I wanted to highlight the blue lights. There are trail lights that now go all the way from Shepherd Drive and then to east to the Theater District. There are orbs above these trails that change from blue to white depending on the phases of the moon. So more blue lights you will see closer to the new moon, and white lights closer to the full moon. So it's in different sections. So you might see one evening more blue lights and another evening more white lights. So it's always changing, like nature changes. So this is an art piece and also aesthetic for safety. This is one of my favorite images, and the first marketers for Houston, the Allen brothers, who founded Houston in 1836. This image on the left was a poster that was created by them, encouraging people, come to Houston, look how beautiful this is. And they were quoted as saying that Houston is handsome and beautifully elevated, salubrious, healthy, and well-watered. And, you know, this very much looks like this Switzerland image with lots of mountains. And on the right is was reality in the 1800s. Not very hilly, but it's amazing when you travel Buffalo Bayou Park by foot or by bike. There are some hills, a little bit of hills, maybe not mountains, but there are hills there. This is Allen's Landing. This was Allen's Landing on the right. I'll show you the restored building. And the landmark is the former spaghetti warehouse, which is actually being changed and renovated to a restaurant and bar, which is kind of fun. So you see this image on the right-hand side, this green building. This is how it looks now on the left-hand side. And our office is on the top floor, which overlooks Buffalo Bayou. And the right-hand image I keep in this PowerPoint just to give you a sense of how much water we had during Harvey. So Harvey, we were inches away from going into this ground level because this catwalk is from the street to the ground level. But you can just imagine how much water Buffalo Bayou had during Harvey. One of our goals for Buffalo Bayou Partnership is having trails on both sides of the bayou from our jurisdiction, that 10-mile stretch from Shepherd to the Turning Basin. So there are not banks to work from to add trails. So this trail on the left is it's at 3/4 of a mile, and we actually had to have trails built that go over Buffalo Bayou. So this really was an engineering feat and quite beautiful. Kind of reminds you of San Antonio, some of the Riverwalk. We're excited because this year hopefully September of this year, we will be going through a building. So when you go east of Allen's Landing, there are no banks to add trails. There are buildings that are abandoned. This particular one on the image on the left-hand side shows you the trails that we are going to build that go through the building, and then we'll then ultimately connect to existing trails that are going east. So stay tuned for updates with this project. And we are always working east when we're working west and continuing with different projects, and I'll share more of the east sector plans. But this park was completed in 2016. It's very close to the ship channel. It's at Sergeant Macario Garcia and Wayside. It's a 10-mile park. It's really lovely. It's one of my favorites because it's just so intimate. Years ago, we planted about 10,000 wetland plants, and soon after the planting, there was this white ibis, which is a native bird and a unique bird you don't see all the time, but it made its way here, made its home here, and there are so many bird species and animals that we turtles. There was actually an alligator in here, a little baby alligator. And so it's in its natural habitat. The alligator is not there any longer. I think someone has removed that, but it's a beautiful little park. Buffalo Bayou Park is celebrating its 5th anniversary this fall in 2020. I can't believe 5 years has already passed since the completion of this. So this park, which hopefully many of you have explored, is from Shepherd Drive. Oh, do you know what? And I'm so sorry. So going back to this, so Maury Harris, hi Maury, he said a little hello. So Maury Harris, when he was at University of St. Thomas, helped with restoring and improving this park. So shout out to you. I wanted to say hello.
Thank you. It's Rory. It was a real joy working there.
Oh, thanks for all your help. It's a lovely park, so thank you. So Buffalo Bayou Park, it's 160 acres. It's from Shepherd Drive to Sabine Street, 2.3 miles, and it was a $58 million project. And I love telling this story because the Kinder Foundation, they provided $30 million as a catalyst gift. And it goes to show you how much they believe in Buffalo Bayou and believe in enhancing Houston. So Houston as a city is quite unique in that there are so many philanthropic families and individuals and people that put money back into our city to make it what it is. So we're very fortunate. Had a lot of money from the Kinders, and then BBP raised $23 million. So this is $53 million privately funded, which is really unheard of. $5 million from Harris County Flood Control District to help with some of the flooding issues along this stretch. And just kind of going through quickly some of the amenities, there are 2 trails. There are the concrete trails closer to the street level that are both for bicyclists and foot traffic. The asphalt trails closer to the bayou, foot traffic only, not bicycles, so that you are able to keep meander slowly. You might see a lot of construction taking place right now, and Harris County Flood Control District is working on repairing some of these trails. A lot of these are asphalt trails closer to the bayou because of Harvey. And it wasn't the Harvey rains that destroyed and eroded the trails. It was all of the water that we received, that when the dam was released for 6 weeks entirely 24/7, that's what happened. But again, it just was unbelievable amount of water that we received. So this lunar cycling, the lunar lighting does continue from Shepherd Drive. It's along Buffalo Bayou Park. This bottom left image shows you the orbs that are above the trail lights. That's what actually changes from blue to white. And a reminder, more blue lights closer to the new moon, more white lights closer to the full moon. And here's another image showing you. A great aerial view of the Sabine Street, the east section of Buffalo Bayou Park. We call this the gateway to the park. You see the entry court. You see on the left the nature play area. Behind that is the skate park. That green is the open space, performance space that is on top of the cistern. We have a visitor center here, restrooms, bike barn is here to rent bikes. And we've actually moved the canoe and kayak rentals to this area as well. So it really is kind of a catch-all for everything. This is at that green space area, the brown foundation lawn and spectacular views of downtown at night, the skyline. And so here's the cistern. So I highly recommend people visiting this space. And this was built in 1926. It was originally a water reservoir, so one area for drinking water in Houston. It was still working until the early 2000s and then decommissioned. And it was open in 2016 to the public for history tours. And also, this is a curated space for art installations, and we've had 2 of them. I might go back, but here is the last one that we had Carlos Cruz Diaz, and he was 94 years old, and he recently passed away, but we were so fortunate to have his work installed before he passed away, and visualizing these. It was kind of moving lines, different colors, and white coats were given out so that you were really immersed into the art. So we are hoping this fall for an art installation, depending on COVID situations. If it's not this fall, it will definitely be next year. This shows you the sidewalk that goes around the perimeter of this space. And it's the size of a football field and a half. We call it the cistern because it's similar to Istanbul and Turkey's cistern that was built much earlier, but it's amazing similarities that this space has. The echoing quality is about 17 seconds, which is fantastic. And we're happy to say that as of June 1st, we had a phase 1 opening of some of our amenities. And so as of June 3rd, we opened up the cistern for tours. So you can tour the cistern, 10 people maximum per tour, and just go to our website at buffalobayou.org for more information about the tours. The nature play area, unfortunately, is closed right now, but we'll be opening up, and it's really a unique site with sand, 30-foot slide, and lots of things to climb on. The Johnny Steele Dog Park, which was closed for some time, and we have opened it up as of June 1st. The DUNLAVY, the Lost Lake area, this is home to the kitchen at the DUNLAVY, and restrooms are here. We have closed this visitor center for now, but it's a beautiful area to walk around. And the DUNLAVY has just opened up a pop-up. Instead of their usual menu, it's now focused on burgers. It's called Daddy's Burgers at the DUNLAVY. That's a summer pop-up that they're having. Bridges, we added 3 pedestrian bridges that connected to the different neighborhoods and provided accessibility to both sides of the trails, the Memorial Drive side and the Allen Parkway side. We have Jackson Hill that we continued all the way over Buffalo Bayou. CARRUTH Bridge that connects to the police memorial that we did not have before. And you can see great views of downtown. We have Shepherd Drive that made it much safer to cross over Buffalo Bayou at Shepherd. There are different typologies throughout Buffalo Bayou Park. So we have Ramble, we have 17 acres of prairie land, which is one of the largest urban prairies in the United States. The reason that we have all of these different typologies is Buffalo Bayou Partnership maintains this area, which is different from Houston Parks Board. So the Kinders, when they gave $30 million, they said, they were smart. They said, we'll give you this money. We have 2 requirements. One is that you have to finish this in a timely manner, which was finished in under 4 years, 3 to 4 years, which is quick for this acreage. And also, we want a maintenance plan. So that's why we felt that it was better for us to maintain so that we can focus on the different aspects. So 50% has been cut, adding native grasses as opposed to mowed lawns, and helps with irrigation and water and so forth. We have 4 dedicated gardens that need more maintenance. Jane Gregory Garden is one of them at Allen Parkway in Gillette. We planted 14,000 native trees along this stretch. And this photo was from 2015. And you can see some of the pine trees, how much they've grown since then. This park has won national and international awards, and we're really happy to have this. We will be programming Buffalo Bayou Park a lot more. So stay tuned, and hoping that we will we'll be COVID free and back to a new normalcy one of these days, sooner than later. So the east sector. So the east sector, east of Allen's Landing, where Houston was founded, is is the beginning of this 4-mile stretch. The east sector from Allen's Landing to the Turning Basin is a 4-mile stretch. We've just launched a master plan as of last year. The Bayou, this is what Buffalo Bayou looks like east of downtown. You can see the skyline in the background. The Bayou is a lot wider. The banks are steeper. We don't have flooding issues. And we actually have barges that still come up to, which street? They still come up to North York, which is surprising where this recycling plant is. Prior to the launch of this master plan last fall, 2 years we met with the different neighborhoods. We have north of Buffalo Bayou, we have 5th Ward. South of Buffalo Bayou, we have the 2nd Ward. And so it was important to reach out to all the neighborhoods and really getting a sense of what would you like in the park. This is going to be for you. So before even releasing a master plan, we met 2 years and soaked up all of that information to launch that. So as I mentioned, it's a 4-mile stretch. And the idea is to not have it like Buffalo Bayou Park, which is a continuous, maybe more developed, if you might say. So what we're doing is we're having these circles represent activation areas. And then between the activation areas, we will have continuous trails that link to these areas. So it won't be a continuous developed area. We want to keep it as natural as possible. And starting from the left, this is considered part of the downtown gateway. And going to the right is you can see in the background these silos, of this rendering, we have 4 abandoned gravel silos that we will potentially put barbecue pits for festivals. We feel that this area is a great neighborhood park as well as a venue for art installations. To give you an idea of where this is located, it is honestly just across the street from Ninfa's on Navigation, which is a big landmark that so many people are aware of where this takes place. So if we continue, and these are all considered in this second ward, south of Buffalo Bayou. As you continue east, we have Tunny Marone Park, which is at North York and Buffalo Bayou. And it is it's about a 19-acre site. We will expand it. We're going to double this to about a 40-acre site. And it's going to definitely be for kids and families. We'll have a boat dock there and water features. As we continue east, looking up at the top circles, that one on the left is Jaffet Creek. And Jaffet Creek is located near Clinton. It's actually just east of Clinton and North York. And it's a really lovely kind of green finger that goes into the bayou. And so we plan on having this very lush and natural and working with potentially urban harvest and having gardens. We're going to have on that middle circle is an adventure, kind of extreme adventure park for your BMX bikes, skateboarders, and a lot of extreme sports. To the right of that is a wastewater treatment that is located at Lockwood and Navigation. And this is going to be a more of botanic park, not a botanic gardens, but it will be focusing more on the plant life. We'll have a visitor center there and a number of trails. The bottom circles, so the left circle more orange, that is at this turkey neck here, if you can see it, the turkey neck along the bayou. At the bottom of this turkey neck is a property that Buffalo Bayou Partnership just purchased, and we will be transforming this into a event space. It will also, it's right on the bayou, so we'll be able to offer boat tours, canoe and kayak rentals, and a really fantastic industrial site. And we want to make sure to keep the industrial remains as much as possible. The right-hand image is as we get closer to the ship channel, that will be more of a neighborhood park. So people to, picnic, kite flying, and again, wanting to follow through with what the neighborhood and residential requests are. So to kind of go over some of the components for this master plan, we're going to have 40 miles of new and improved waterfront trails and on-street trails. We're going to have 200 acres of park spaces and open spaces, 7 new canoe and kayak landings, and then 7 new pedestrian bridges. So the idea is to connect the neighborhoods to Buffalo Bayou, and also hoping to connect the neighborhoods, 5th Ward to the 2nd Ward, and so forth. Let's see. So this is a renovation of the, kind of a close-up of one of the activation nodes of our botanic gardens at the water treatment plant at Lockwood. Here's a better view, sorry. At Turkey Bend event space, downtown Gateway, And so stay tuned. So the idea is, we've just begun. This is a 20 to 30-year vision for the entire stretch. What we plan on doing is working on different pieces of the improvements at one time. One example is linking Buffalo Bend Nature Park, the 10-acre site, to another park, Hidalgo Park. So adding connections to the trails, and then also working on Tony Marone Park. So it's going to be different pieces, and we're going to continue to work with the community on what they want to see. So some of our events, we continue to have volunteer programs, not now, sorry, but after COVID, we will offer, we would love your help, let us know. Cleaning up, this continues to happen through COVID and now. Our team works from Tuesday through Saturday, and on the left-hand side is a Bayou vac boat. You can kind of see this suction, this trash, this kind of vacuum that picks up the trash at these containment rooms. And the idea is to pick up the trash before it goes to the Gulf of Mexico, before it gets to the port. So it's a big problem that we do have. We do have our pontoon boat, which is a great way to see Houston and see Houston from a different perspective. We are offering now private boat tours for 10 people. So just check out our website if that is of interest to you. We have an amazing bat colony that lives under Waugh Drive Bridge. It's the second largest urban bat colony in Texas after Austin. We have kayak tours, birding tours that will begin when it's safe to offer these. We have our annual regatta, canoe and kayak race. Next year will be the 49th year of this race. We have a young professional group and lots of happy hours and fun activities. We have our Kids Day, which is planned for October 10th of this year, and we're looking at different scenarios and seeing if we can actually have that, which we hope. If not, we'll have other ways of experiencing this. We have our big fundraiser in November, and when we're up and running, we'll be offering free walking tours. We'll continue that the third Saturday of each month. And on Wednesday evenings, wellness walks that are free. We also have sunrise yoga that will be opening up when it is safe. That is right on the Brown Foundation lawn, and to see the sunrise is just spectacular. And there you can learn a lot more at our website, buffalobayou.org. We have a newsletter that goes out every month, and you can keep up with what's happening on our Facebook page and Instagram. And I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Trudy. Guys, I'm curious too. This is Kathy from Alamo. For those of you that joined us a little bit later, thank you all for taking the time. And I just am so excited. I've lived in Houston my entire life. I'm curious to know how many of you really knew exactly what we have here to offer. And then when Trudy and I first met, it was 2010. I've been working with her since. And in 2010, we didn't even know that the cistern was there. And then they discovered it, rediscovered it, I think, Trudy, what, 2012? Then we were told we would never tour. And then I've taken multiple people and clients and friends and family on tours to the cistern. So if you've never been, you've got to go and experience these things. And I just challenge each of you during all of this time to really get to know our city. And you just saw what Buffalo Bayou has to offer, not only us, but people coming to Houston. So I hope you all will get out there and enjoy and everything. But if you have questions, please, Trudy is here. And Trudy, I did on the cistern, there's that scope that goes down where people can actually go online. And is that still available? The art installation that was the first installation, that had the little periscope that went down into the cistern?
Oh, right, down periscope. So that is an art piece, and it's at the Brown Foundation lawn. And you, instead of going up, you go down and you can actually see what's inside the cistern. And it's down periscopehouston.com that you can log in and actually experience from your home. So someone in Guatemala can go in and check it out, and someone in Houston can check it out from their home. So that's right. It's Donald Lipsky, a New York artist, and he loved the cistern and wanted to create this to be able to actually look through. You can on site and then at home too. That's it. It's a fun piece.
Yeah, so that would be something neat to do with the kids, so definitely.
And also Facebook page, if you want to check it out, Buffalo Bayou Partnership. It's called the National Arts Drive. So these are drive-by experiences. A lot of arts organizations, artists, have pieces up that you can see by driving by. So Buffalo Bayou Partnership is participating, and we.
Oh. I don't know. Gabby, are you still there? Gabby.
Gabby had left, but.
Oh, sorry. Okay, did we lose Trudy? I guess we may have lost Trudy.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much. She gave you the website. If there's anything Alamo Title, Kathy Crittenden, if we can do anything to help you all, we're there for you. And anyway, so we hope to see you soon. Take care, and we'll catch up with everybody later. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Kathy, thank you so much